So how this project started is we actually got a kind of a cold call or cold email from our website, and it was from Dusty giving a little bit of background of who they were. They were moving in from California, which I'm not gonna lie, when I heard California, I was like, oh, here we go. But he was just very clear and very, even through his email, you could tell was very strong-minded that he really wanted us. And that he wasn't necessarily shopping and that it had to be pinkSTONE, which of course, when you first start out, you know you're good, but it's hard because you know no one else does necessarily. And this was even before Stonehenge had really started. So a lot of what we said we could do was just talk. We hadn't had a chance to really showcase that anywhere until Stonehenge. So it was interesting because we actually met them prior to Stonehenge, and I think them seeing us go through that and what we did there actually just made them that much more resolute that it had to be us. So it was just kind of crazy to think that just a random email one day came in and turned into what is now waterLINE.
You gotta give it away, give it away, give it away to the ones you love.
We come every day to just walk through it, and we stand out on the
And
catwalk, and we just, every day we say, can you believe this is gonna be our house? This is gonna be our view. Like every day, we're gonna watch every sunset from this balcony right here. It's just gonna be absolutely mind-blowing when this thing's done.
You know, he's always encouraging me, well, look at what your hard work, my hard work, what it's created. And we want this to be multi-generational. We want it to stay in the family and be with the kids and the grandkids and so on and so forth.
Are you kidding me? When they see this place, they're not gonna wanna sell it. They're all gonna wanna move in.
Well, we're gonna make sure of that. But yeah, it's just, we come here every day just to take it in. It's overwhelming. It really is overwhelming.
Well, we looked up on her website on the style of design that she did. I'm like, that's what I want. That's the look I want. I'm not building anything. I'm not going to build a log cabin. I'm building a custom lake home. So I wanted that look, that design. So we reached out. I was still working as a police officer, so I'm like, I got this. I go, let me send an email from my work account, so she'll see that I'm a police officer in California and think, you know, that's going to do something. So I sent an email from my work account and immediately got a response from Rebecca. So I'm like, I told you, it worked. So
then I think within about 6 months, we probably met with them.
Yeah, and then we came out.
And we weren't in a hurry.
I had all kinds of stuff in a folder with all kinds of different pictures from magazines and stuff. Met with the team, met with Rebecca and a couple other designers over there.
Well, she thought we were different because we didn't want her to start tomorrow.
Right.
We had plenty of time.
Right.
We had years, and
Right.
that worked perfectly for them.
Right.
So I think that was...
Not knowing that she was on the verge of starting Stonehenge. So that was a whole different thing. So that worked out perfect for her. We get done with our design meeting, and she's okay, thank you. She takes my folder, and...
Well, no, she said, and we may or may not decide to work with you. And we left without our inspiration. And we got in the car and we're like, what just happened? We just left all our ideas.
Well, I'm thinking, if they don't choose us, I just gave all my to Rebecca and the team. Like, I need to go back and ask for it back so I can go to the next builder and say, this is what we want. And then it was like an hour later, Rebecca calls Beth and says, hey, are you guys, y'all busy tonight? You want to meet my husband and I for dinner? And we're like, I think she's choosing us. I think we're in.
And so it was fancy, dive, or middle of the road. And we said, you pick, and I think we went dive.
We went dive, and we met Austin, and we had a time of our life. And ever since that first time, we've been good friends with him. So it's been amazing.
Been fantastic.
So first steps when we initially met with Beth and Dusty, obviously the very first thing we do is we like to get a good sense for our clients because we're designing the space that they're going to live in. So that's so much more than finishes and colors and spaces. How do they move day to day? what are their goals long term? Are they planning on being here forever? Things like aging in place. I mean, there are just so many things you need to consider. We spent a lot of time just getting to know them. And ironically, because unlike most, we get people that show up and want to be in their, like it's March right now, and they want to be in their home by Christmas. And that, I'm not saying it's impossible, but trying to get that amount of decisions done in that short a time is just hard. It wasn't so much that they were the perfect client. It's just that is something that I specifically and my team does really well. Getting to know the clients, taking all the considerations, not just the client, but the land, the budget. There's a lot of things that go into designing a home. And I think that's one of the many things that we do really well is marrying all those different variables and making a very unique concoction that satisfies that particular client. It's also why we don't necessarily build for anybody that walks through the door. Because it's no different than like a hairstylist. You know, you find somebody that kind of gets your vision, understands your look, and you stick with them. But that doesn't mean that you could just go to the very next hairstylist and they're going to do the same exact thing. I really like them, and I really love design, and I don't get to do it that often because I'm off doing a million other different things. Even if you know exactly what you want, it's still hard. So the fact that they came to us several years in advance really allowed us to get to know who they were and know what's important to them and help kind of steer them and navigate them through the process.
Her brand is on this house. So she's gonna make sure it's up to her standard and the customer standards before she accepts status quo, right? She'll never accept status quo. It's always the pinkSTONE status, right?
Well, and she explained that this is custom. This is our whole culmination of what we worked for, and she gets that versus like, hey, sorry, we promised this, but we can't, so deal with it.
Here's the average build, here's the pinkSTONE build.
Oh, wait,
maybe
yeah. Way.
I am.
Okay.
I'm on board with
We
that.
could run through options if you guys want to end up with shelving, or if you wanted hooks in here.
Is it more of like a storage thing, or is it more of just like you want something?
I'm like,
here?
well, because it seems like a very big plain wall, and we're not gonna put artwork in the bathroom on a marble or a tile wall, right?
What's that? Oh, is that tile?
Yes.
The whole bathroom's tile. So I'm just thinking like,
so probably some kind of a nook.
right, or maybe different. The beautiful part is she understands the customer piece, which is so different from, you wanted a 1,800 square foot house, and basically it's an orange box, as she calls it. Here it is. But she gets the custom part, which the more we talk to her about our frustrations or our disappointments, that became more obvious to us how she is then translating that to her team, where we might be looking like difficult clients. She's like, no, get it.
Feasible. It would definitely keep cool space, but it was 2 4-foot long diffusers in line with the trusses over there.
Does it?
But they didn't like the design and the aesthetic of it, so I just
You want something blowing out this way.
correct. We're trying to get air out to this
So if we box something out, that would kind of look like.
And we talked about in the ceiling. I could do it. It's a modification. It's a change order. I'd have to talk to Rebecca on how I'm going to pay for it. But it's totally possible. I can do anything you want to do. I'm just trying to do things without incurring costs. Say this is 14 feet. I need the center 7 feet. So you have a 3 to 4 foot section over here and a 3 to 4 foot section, and then I need to bump out 12, 14, 16 inches. I don't know exactly yet.
As minimal as possible.
As minimal as possible.
How much should we talk about?
No, let's talk about the glass going in. That'd be like a whoa.
No, this is the deal. The HVAC was going to be absolutely, remember we were going to have
Oh,
we were going
the
to
lines
have
that are-
industrial lines,
the runs
which we
that-
never
yeah.
anticipated, didn't want.
Yeah.
And it was like this is the way it's going to be.
There's supposed to be HVAC here today.
Right.
And nothing's happening. The crew ran a couple of lines, and Rebecca said, "Get out of my house." So everything's done. Well, for now, we don't know what's happening.
And we were told that we would be delivered diffusers, and
I'm trying to take the throttle and just pull it back a little bit. I want shit done like now. I want it done this date. I want this done this way not having ever built a house or going through the change orders or the, you know, this crew did this wrong, we got to reframe this, or like one of the crews dropped one of these big panels of glass the other day and it shattered one of the glass pieces, so that delayed it again. Certain things that we deal with that I'm not used to dealing with, I have to get used to. Not
Patience.
yeah, patience. I'm a little short on patience. Yeah, I
That's-
really wanted the linear diffusers, the long, thin ones that just looked custom. I didn't want the standard, you know, metal box that every other house has.
So we're waiting.
And they told us they couldn't do it. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's rendered, and all of our renderings have that linear diffuser. You're telling me you can't do it? They're like, yeah, we can't do it. Now everything's on hold. Again, another delay, which is frustrating on my regimented mind frame. And so that's where we're at. We're in a holding pattern.
Look, we gotta trust the process. And
Trust the process.
So we'll see. Stay tuned, I guess.